Hello friends, this video is being presented by Tpncare.com. Today I will share with you how we change the dressing on my Picc line. I do it once a week unless I need to change it sooner for any reason. Initially we were nervous about doing it on our own, but gradually with practice and observation, it now seems very easy. I feel more comfortable and at ease since we started doing this ourselves. It is critical to maintain sterility during this process and also to ensure that the catheter does not migrate out accidentally while cleaning the Picc line site. This is the dressing change kit I use. It is the Medstream brand. Before this, I have used 2 or 3 other brands, most of which have similar contents. Only difference is that some contain alcohol swab sticks, some have betadine, and some have chloroprep with or without alcohol swab sticks. I prefer the kit that contains both alcohol and chloroprep. People who are sensitive to these can also use betadine kit. Most of the other items are common. For example, a mask, a pair of sterile gloves, a sterile drape, a tape measure, alcohol and PVP swab sticks, a tape roll, and a Tegaderm dressing. So we will keep this kit aside since we are not going to use it. Let's talk a little bit about dressings. There are various kinds of dressings available in many shapes and sizes, like Tegaderm, IV 3000, and SorbaView window dressing. This is the one I use. It's called SorbaView SV40XT. I like the fact that it is a window dressing, therefore I can keep an eye on my Picc line. It has a nice border with good absorption capacity that helps keep the site dry. It also comes with a SorbaView shield inside that can be used to secure the hub area. So now we will proceed with setting up the new dressing kit and removing the old dressing. The steps we follow are as follows. Wash hands thoroughly with soap and water. My family member has already done that. Wear a pair of regular gloves and use enough hand sanitizer. We put on the face mask and again use enough sanitizer. Next we will open the new dressing change kit. Peel it from the top. It's like a container that has all the sterile contents. Everything inside the kit is right now sterile. Now we will add to the kit the custom supplies that we use, all the while maintaining sterility. This is a Biopatch. It's a tiny circular antibacterial sponge that is put around the insertion point of the Picc line. It contains chlorhexidine, which is a powerful antiseptic and helps prevent infections. Without touching the inside of the package or the kit, peel and drop it into the kit like this. This is a Griplok. I use this to secure the line in place. I tried the stat lock, but it did not work for my skin. Moreover, it was very difficult to put and remove it. The Griplok has done a wonderful job of keeping the catheter in place, and we place it in a way so that I can also flex my arm easily. It does not irritate my skin and is made of soft material so that I hardly notice its presence. Without touching the inside, peel and drop the Griplok into the kit. Next, peel the Solvaview dressing and drop it into the kit. Make sure the container stays sterile. We will use some more hand sanitizer. Some kits contain the skin prep. For example, this is the Ectacept, and it contains the skin protectant swab. It is also called the skin prep. With Medstream, we have to put it from outside. The skin prep is not dry, so we cannot simply drop it into the kit like the other supplies that we just did. So we tear it from the center and keep it on the drape in a way so as to keep it sterile for later use. My family member will now remove the old dressing. We make sure the catheter is secured with a tape or Steri-strip before starting the process. In my case, I have a Steri-strip. This is to ensure that we don't pull out the catheter when removing the old dressing. Wipe the top and sides of the old dressing with alcohol or adhesive remover pads. We use adhesive swabs instead of alcohol, as it very gently removes the dressing without any pushing, pulling or pain. We start from the edges and loosen up the dressing from all the sides. Then we pull up the dressing gently from bottom towards the top, again to ensure that line stays in place. Once we reach near the insertion point, we lift the dressing along with the biopatch. If the biopatch is at the right angle, it will come off together with the dressing itself. There is no need to separate the biopatch from the old dressing. This is how it looks. But if anything seems stuck, more swabs can be used. Since we are very close to the insertion point, we are careful not to pull anything with pressure. Now we will remove the Griplok using the swab very gently. Loosen the Griplok from both the sides . Open the wing and very gently pull it out from one side. Make sure that the catheter is in place. Once the old dressing is out, I examine it. I examine the site for anything unusual like redness, swelling, pus or any other discharge. The site is looking good, and we will proceed with cleaning the Picc line site. My family member will now put on the sterile gloves that are available in the kit. When we open the package, the gloves are marked for the right hand and the left hand. are supposed to be worn in a way so as to not touch the outside surface. Using the sterile gloves, we will spread the sterile drape under my arm. First we clean the site with alcohol and then with ChloroPrep. This pack has 3 alcohol swab sticks. Tear the pack. Take out the first stick. Start cleaning at the insertion point and move the stick in a spiral motion, making sure not to come back to the same point again. We also clean along the length of the catheter because it tends to deposit skin debris that should be removed. We repeat the same steps with 2 other swab sticks. Watch the motion carefully as we move the stick in a spiral motion. Again, it's not circular, it is spiral. The idea is not to put the stick back on the point that has already been cleaned. Now that we have cleaned this site with alcohol, we will now clean it with chlorhexidine, which is a very powerful antimicrobial agent. This is the ChloroPrep stick. When we break the stick by pressing on the edges with inward pressure, the chlorhexidine inside flows into the sponge at the bottom. Hold it for a few seconds while the entire contents go into the sponge. Then we place the sponge over the insertion point for a few seconds so that the chlorohex can seep into the insertion point and kill any germs in that area. Now we will scrub the insertion point back and forth and slowly move outwards, making sure not to touch the insertion point again. We clean the outer area of the site, clean the top and bottom of the catheter and the wing both. Basically, we flip the wing like this and clean it thoroughly so there is no deposit on the wing as well. Now we will let it air dry for a few seconds. Air drying means not to blow on the site or use a fan, just let it dry out itself. We can gently touch on the skin to make sure it is dry. We are just holding the wing so it dries out from underneath. So now we will use the skin protectant, skin prep on the side. This puts a thin layer on the skin so that the adhesives will not irritate the skin. Since I started using this, I have had no irritation or rashes. We just dab it on the area around the insertion point, but not on the insertion point, and we dab it around the remaining side and also let it air dry. So this has formed a thin layer of protection. After that, we'll put the Biopatch. The key to putting the Biopatch correctly is to align the slit of the Biopatch with the length of the catheter or at a 30-degree angle. We align it with the length. This is extremely important because if we put the Biopatch at any other angle, it becomes really difficult to remove it when changing the dressing. And pulling on it can pull the catheter out as well. When it's aligned properly, it comes off easily. So please watch as we have done it. Now we will secure the catheter using a Griplok. It looks like a little wing where the hub of the catheter fits in, and then we close the wing. We will remove the cover from the Griplok, slide it under the hub, stick it on the skin and put the hub in the wing. Something very important that I want to mention here, as per the recommendations, the hub of the catheter should sit inside the Griplok. But when we used it in that manner, the line migrated out. So we thought of this trick. Instead of putting the hub inside the Griplok, we leave the hub on the top of the Griplok and close it in a way so that it locks the wings of the hub. This secures the catheter extremely well. We have been doing this for 2 years and it works really well for me. Also, we make sure that my catheter is in a C shape before we put the dressing. And now we will put the dressing. So above you, it's very simple. Separate the bottom part and put it aside. Remove the dressing cover by peeling it off. Hold the dressing from the edges carefully so it does not stick to the fingers. Align the bottom slit of the dressing with the lumens. Position it such that the Biopatch and insertion points are also visible. Stick it and tap it lightly along the edges to secure it in place. And to secure the lumens, we use sterile strips at the bottom. So above view shield can also be used, but I usually don't do that unless needed. And on the dressing, it's a good idea to put the date and time. We write it down so the next dressing change can be done on time, which in my case is on a weekly basis. Thanks for watching.